permutations. But I would rather go to San Francisco in the first round than go to New Orleans.
100%. Yeah. I think it's nuts though. Like I was looking at it, it was something different than you were looking at, but somebody had said that 6 teams have the possibility of being the 1 seed or the 6 seed right now.
Wow.
With 2 weeks to go in the and I don't know if maybe it was 5 teams because there's no chance Dallas can do that. I mean, Dallas is, I think, mathematically eliminated from the 1 or the 2 seed.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's 5 teams because basically if Seattle or San Fran win their division, one of them will be the 1 or the 2 seed.
Right.
And then you got the Saints and Vikings and Packers who could all sneak into that 2-3 seed too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Depending on how it all fell. So
yeah, it's crazy.
And you're gonna have like an 11 or 12, like an 11 and whatever, 12-4 team that could be the 6th seed.
Yeah, we'll play in week 1.
Right.
Playing the wild card
at Dallas against a 500 Dallas team.
Yeah, against a bad Dallas team. Right. Yeah. So no, I think that's clear. I mean, it's not much of a going out on much of a limb there to say that. But the other thing about the Vikings, obviously injury, Dalvin Cook. But the other thing that came out today was the Pro Bowl selections. Look, I couldn't care less about the Pro Bowl. I think it's a waste of time. To the extent, look, the league thinks it's a waste of time because they have the game now. I think in the off week before the Super Bowl, right? And which means that Super Bowl the teams that play in the Super Bowl don't send their players, right? So look, everybody acknowledges, the entire organization acknowledges that the Pro Bowl is a joke, but by that metric, way too much, I think, than it deserves will be made of the snubs in general. Although that really becomes sort of the thing to talk about because the game itself is stupid. But I mean. Rodgers over Cousin. I just, who cares? What difference does it make? It doesn't diminish the season at all.
And it's a popularity contest. Always has been.
Yeah, all All-Star games are stupid. Period.
Do you think there's anything they could do to change that?
Not really in football, just because you can't really play all out. And if they don't have to, if there's nothing on the line, they're not going to be out there laying out and then crushing each other. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
Do you think they could do flag football or something, or like do a combine where we can see Dalvin Cook around the 40? Or I suppose then he pulls a hammy and he's out the next season. And
yeah, exactly.
That, but yeah.
I mean, from a pure entertainment standpoint, I don't even know what I would want to see. I mean. NFLers against the projected top first round of the college of the draft. I don't know. Who cares? Just let them stay home. I mean, like, seriously. I realize that it's a way to give back to the league, corporate sponsors, and that kind of thing, and that's good. But you're taking something that is. I don't know. You're just making a farce out of something that is unnecessary, but it's going to be a farce. I mean, like all All-Star games, though. I mean, baseball is about the only one where they can really approximate the actual game, the actual regular season gameplay, and even that it just doesn't look like the game just because they got to try and get everybody in, and there's 20 pitchers and whatever.
Football, there's such a risk of injury, so it just makes it so weird to have to figure out something.
I don't want them to go hard in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Lonnie, you've been very quiet about this topic. Are you like a Pro Bowl fan?
I am so tired of we don't get enough respect. We don't get enough compliments. Oh, my God. Are we really that needy, people?
We're Minnesotans. Yes, we are, Lonnie.
Okay, you want compliments, Tony? Win something for once in your life. And then you'll get all the compliments, all the props, and all the platitudes you could ever hope for. God.
I spent a lot of hours in the rain and the snow on Thanksgiving Saturday hoping we were going to win something. And we didn't.
No.
So.
No. Well, that's another topic. Anyway, whatever. Look, I assuming that they can get the injuries here are either not serious or get healed up before it starts to matter, i.e. the wild card round, January 4th and 5th is my NFL.com is telling me right now. That's whatever. That's what matters at this point, right? I mean, they're going to get into the playoffs. The Rams are in the 7th hole right now in the NFC, and they're 8-6. So technically, by record, but what
the Rams lose on Sunday, though. The Vikes are in the playoffs. They clinch by kickoff.
Yeah,
Monday,
exactly.
Right.
Yes. So the Vikings are going to make the playoffs. And you're going to have to go through several really, really good teams, right?
Yeah. I mean, you send Dalvin to the beach.
Heck yeah. No, I mean,
if Rams lose, you send Dalvin on a vacation to get your shoulder right or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Cryogenic
chamber.
Right. Don't come out of
it. Exactly. You lock him in there until he passes out. Yeah. No, I completely agree. All right. Okay. So that's football. Whatever. That's football.
How'd your fantasy team do?
I don't do fantasy, bro.
What?
My fantasy is a sports book. That's my fantasy football sports.
There you go.
How'd your team do?
I lost in the semis in 1. Didn't make the playoffs in 2, and I'm in a guillotine league this year. These are fun. If you get a chance to join a guillotine league, do it. So it's 16-team league. Lowest score each week loses, and you're done for the season.
Oh, wow.
Last man standing wins. You get a free agency budget. As the teams lose, the teams left can bid on their players. They automatically go into the waiver pool, and you can bid on the players. So it makes it. There's a lot of strategy in it, a lot of fun, and the best team in week 8, if he's just been killing everybody, could have his best guy go on a bye, have a bad week, and he's done.
Nice.
So it's an interesting league. They're pretty fun. I'd recommend them if you're into that kind of thing. If you're into fantasy football, so sounds like you folks aren't though.
No, Lonnie, do you do fantasy football?
No, I don't. But that concept is intriguing because, the object is to score the most points possible, right? And it kind of takes out the variable of, oh yeah, I went against Pat Mahomes, who threw for 7 touchdowns today.
Right. You just got to survive in advance. Like it literally is Jimmy V for the first 15 weeks, And the other thing is you're drafting a 16-team league. So I felt like my team was just trash. And I finished 2 spots before the payout. I finished 5th out of 16. But week 1, I was like, there's no chance. I'm done. But it's there's 16 teams, right? So when you draft, it's a snake draft and you could be the 15th pick. You're in a world of hurt. You're not getting a very good player and your second guy isn't that good, So it's just it's a weird feeling when you're in that kind of league, but it's a fun deal.
Cool. Yeah. That sounds like fun. Do you do any other fantasy sports?
I like fantasy golf, fantasy baseball, but and I'll do the FanDuel stuff and the weekly stuff. That's starting to get a little more fun for me because it's just kind of if I've got time. Because what'll happen in my fantasy football leagues is if I had a busy week or kids are bouncing off the walls or something, and I'm in a guillotine league, and then I forget to bid on free agents that I need.
Right.
So I like the week to week stuff because it can kind of get rid of some of that. But yeah, it's good. I've tried hockey.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I don't know enough about it, and I draft all wild players, and then my team sucks.
Yeah, that's a tough. Hey, that's a good transition though. Sashaying over to the hockey side. What do you make of this? What do we make of this run they just finished going on? Now they've lost 2 straight in regulation again as we record here Wednesday night. But up to that point, they were 12-1-4, I think. And their prior, I guess it would be 17 games, but they had been on a heck of a point streak and winning games. Now, okay, so I asked the open-ended question. I'll stick with that. So, did that change your perception of the team's of your expectation for the team for this season, Lonnie?
No, and it's actually causing me substantially more agite because I was happy to be going down the lottery pick path. And
Lonnie, they're still going to get there. They're just going to have less bouncy balls in the lottery and screw ourselves.
Okay, well, I'm looking at one thing right here. So they are currently sitting, 3 points out of the final wild card spot in the West. Does that look about right, Nicola?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go again. Sitting right on the cusp of that eighth spot. It's like, I want them to hit rock bottom, and that. Okay, so and that brings up a good question because I think, and I want the rebuild because I think the team needs to, at a very fundamental level, get much worse and bottom out before they get better on a path of where I want to see them. So here's the question to you two guys. Taylor Hall just got traded. Would you guys have wanted the Wild to be in the mix on that?
Tony, what do you think?
I don't know anything really about Taylor Hall, and when I texted you two that, you guys and Mike, it wasn't received very well. So my assumption is that that's going to be a big absolutely not.
Well, it's not because of Taylor Hall. He's a clear top line left winger. He's capable of more than a point a game across a regular season.
So he's a winger. He's not a center.
Correct. But he's a hell of a hockey player. That's not the problem, right? The problem was he's 28, so he's 29 next year. He's after this season, he needs a contract. He's going to want to have his last long, big contract, this next one, which means he's going to, I don't know what he's getting paid now, but I mean, we could find it obviously, but let's say he's going to want high single digits hit for 7 years.
Yeah.
Right. So you're signing a guy at 29 for 6-7 years. Like, we cannot keep getting on this carousel, this merry-go-round every single year.
Does he even sign with you, or does he want to go home to Canada or what?
Whatever. Right. Exactly. So without certainty that you can re-sign him, and if you had that certainty, it would be at that term for that money for that old of a player. That's why I was like, hell no. And it's not that I don't like. Yeah, it's not that I don't like Taylor Hall. I think he's a great hockey player, despite the fact that his face is about 1.5 feet long. But Lonnie, you asked a question. What's your take on that?
Well, it's a hard no for me. I don't want the Wild in on anything like that. The Wild needs to develop their own top end talent, which, as we've beaten to death, is hard to do when you draft in the middle of the first round every year. On those rare years you haven't traded your first round pick away. But I'm done with the Wild picking up accomplished players, and free agency. You are essentially in unrestricted free agency. You are undoubtedly in an auction where you are paying for past performance. You're going to overpay.
Yeah.
And the performance is going to diminish. That is the very nature of unrestricted free agency. So I don't want the Wild going down that path. And if they were going to try to acquire somebody of Taylor Hall's status, that needs to be when you feel like you're, maybe in the top 4 of the league or the top 6, and you need that one player. You feel like you're that one player away from putting you over the top. And I don't think the Wild are anywhere near that.
Yeah. I mean, yes, for the same reasons that I don't think the Twins should have gone out and tried to sign Machado or Bryce Harper last summer. they should not have. The Wild should not have tried to trade for Taylor Hall this right now, in
Agreed.
my personal opinion. Okay, so here's